See this nose? This pretty ordinary, perfectly inoffensive sensory organ is about to be subjected to 3 days of unpleasantness bordering on cruelty. And all for science. Boy, it's going to be rough. Our 4 pioneering scientists are Ellen Macaulay, an intrepid go-anywhere botanist with a love of all things wild. Mike Bullivant, a chemistry wizard with a wicked sense of humour. Jonathan Hare, the do-it-all inventor, physicist and engineer. And Hermione Cockburn, an earth scientist and explorer who never gives up. Their base is an abandoned mining mill way up in the mountains of Colorado. This is High Altitude, Rough Science. For the past few weeks, our scientists have been busily engaged in some pretty messy tasks. And without the conveniences of modern life to hand, they're looking increasingly mucky. So this week, the team's challenge is to clean themselves up. Not only do they need to come up with a device for washing clothes, but they also need to keep themselves fragrant. But at the end of 3 days, will they have fresh pits or cesspits? Right, you lot, it's about time you cleaned up your act. You are the most revolting scientists I have ever worked with. You're filthy. By the end of 3 days, you're practically toxic.
Well, she's right.
So, how are you going to clean up clothes?
I want to build a washing machine.
I think you jolly well should.
That'll be my best challenge yet.
Domesticated.
You've said it now, Jonathan. You're committed.
Okay, and I'll contribute the washing powder.
You can do washing powder? OK, that's good. Now, what about you yourselves?
Yes, what about us?
It's getting personal, but can we talk deodorant, antiperspirant?
I think she says her smell.
She's looking
Again,
at me
you
now.
said it. Come on, is there a scientific way of making your pits slightly more palatable?
Yeah, we can come up with a few different ways of approaching the problem.
Yeah? Well, at the end of day 3, I have to inform you that there will be a sniff dog test, just to see how effective these deodorants or antiperspirants are. And I hate to admit it, but that sniffer dog is me. Don't laugh.
I'm going to make sure mine doesn't
Get
work.
to it. Quick, quick. Actually, don't run. Go very, very slowly. I don't want any sweating. As usual, the team can use natural resources and anything they find lying around in the mill. For Jonathan, it's one of the toughest challenges yet. He has to make a working washing machine, and the raw materials don't exactly look promising.
I think the key to the washing machine is that we've got to devise some piece of equipment which is going to agitate the clothes in water. Because things like sweat and most sort of dirts will probably come off just by moving them around in water a lot. So this might actually be a top loader. Just need some way of making it move. Maybe you could even do it like that. Mount it somehow on the wheel and I could drive the wheel round so that the thing spins.
Let's hope he washes that bucket out first. It's the other challenge that's really worrying me, though. Can we just get something straight first of all? Antiperspirants and deodorants, what are the difference?
Well, an antiperspirant just stops you sweating.
Right.
And that's what I'm going to make.
OK.
A chemical that does that.
OK.
But the point is that sweat itself is odourless.
Right.
So what I'm going to do is use a natural mineral as a deodorant, which is tackling the source of the smell, which is actually bacteria that live in your armpit and produce the smell. So I'm going to try and stop them reproducing, essentially, with a naturally occurring mineral.
OK, and the botanist?
Well, there's so many plants with so many different properties. I'm going to use some with antiperspirant properties.
OK.
Some that are basically antibacterial, so they'll kill the bacteria.
OK.
And then on top of that, I figure I'll find a lot of aromatics. So if some of these bacteria happen to grow because of the sweat, it should smell very fragrant.
So you're going for a three-pronged attack?
Yes.
I like the sound of that. I think your pit might be a firm favourite from day one.
You can stand by me anytime.
Hermione sets off high into the mountains. she's had to climb to 3,500 metres to an area rich in minerals in search of a kind of rock called allanite. Her plan is to use this mineral to make a deodorant that will get rid of those nasty bacteria. Meanwhile, Ellen has taken me on a hunt for her botanical ingredients. We've come to an old avalanche path, which is now full of wildflowers.
So which ones are you going to use for your antiperspirant deodorant, sort of fragrant mask, if you like?
Well, I'm going to start with one that we all know.
Yeah.
The pine.
Okay.
And we know it's a disinfectant.
Yes.
And so I'm counting on it killing bacteria.
Okay, so that's going to be your deodorant. That's going to do...
Kill the bacteria that's feeding on the fatty organic matter.
Don't tell me about that bacteria, because I have this horrible feeling I'm going to have a nose full of it by the end of this. But yeah, so that will work to kill that.
Right.
Okay, what about the other two bits?
Now, for the other two, I'm thinking that cinquefoil, which is right here.
Okay.
Cinque meaning 5.
Yeah.
And it was used by Native Americans and settlers as an astringent. So it closed up their pores.
Right.
Now, they didn't use it as an antiperspirant, but if it's an astringent and closes up the pores, it should work as an antiperspirant.
What about this sort of perfume option?
Okay, for that, we're going to go for some yarrow. Take a sniff of this.
Okay. Oh, yeah. It's very, it's quite a herby sort of smell, isn't it?
So we'll have a geological deodorant and a botanical combo. But what does Mike have in store for his pits?
Now, this antiperspirant,
Yeah.
this is a glorious chemical setup here, but what are you actually doing?
The chemical I want
Yeah.
is aluminium chloride,
Right.
hence the aluminium foil in there.
Okay.
And I need to react the aluminium foil with a gas called chlorine,
Yeah.
which I'm going to produce from car battery acid and just household bleach.
Okay. Right.
As I drop the acid into the bleach,
Yeah.
we produce chlorine gas.
Oh, look at,
See it?
wow, look at that. Oh, I've just got a whiff of real,
Yeah, it's pretty pungent. So what we get is chlorine passing into the bottom of this jar, which contains just sheets, bits of aluminium foil.
Right. So it's the reaction between that chlorine gas and the aluminium foil which will give you...
Well, the compound that's formed by the reaction of the chlorine and the aluminium is aluminium chloride, which is the component of most effective antiperspirant.
Any idea how quickly this is all...
None at all. It could
Gonna
be
happen?
minutes, it could be a couple of hours, I don't know.
Okay.
But I'm going to proceed gingerly.
A good plan, I think. I'm going to proceed in that general direction. Quite a long way from this rather nasty... Thank you. Yes, thank you very much. I will use that. And, good. I shall see you later.
Will Mike's pungent gas really turn this aluminium foil into an antiperspirant? And can Jonathan turn a bucket, some tennis balls, and an old cordless drill into a washing machine? Meanwhile, Ellen's boiling up the plants we collected to extract the essential oils and deodorizing ingredients. And Hermione is still hunting for the rock that will make her geological deodorant. This rock looks like the right stuff, but there's a way to be sure.
Well, I think the rock I've collected is allanite, but the nice thing is that there's a really simple field test that you can do to be absolutely sure. And if I heat a little bit of it in a test tube, it'll drive off vapour, and when that condenses and I test it, it'll be acidic, and that's allanite. So if I just put it in the flame, heat it up. Now this is just a bit of damp indicator paper. If I put that in, whoa, look at that! Dark red, very acidic. I've found allanite.
So Hermione's on the right track, but Jonathan seems to be barking up completely the wrong tree.
Has there been some sort of misunderstanding? I thought we were going for a washing machine, and it's very beautiful. Wooden seat, we all like that. Could you keep it down now, please? But for clothes washing, I wouldn't have said it was the ideal contraption.
I tried my best not to make it look like a toilet. But it has to be said,
It does.
it does look a bit like a toilet.
things aren't going very much better in Mike's area. The aluminium foil isn't reacting with the gas, which means no aluminium chloride and no antiperspirant. At least there's progress on the geological front as Hermione makes her way back with the alunite she's collected. But it's Ellen who's steaming ahead with her sweet-smelling liquid.
That smells pretty good.
Now, can Jonathan convince me that he's not making a loo?
But it will work. The hot water will be in here, and that will come down into the clothes.
Right.
But
Yeah.
we now got movement. But it's not a toilet. Toilets don't do this, do they?
Mercifully no. Your very own spinning loo. Actually, that is quite good.
Yeah, found alunite, so that's end of day one. And tomorrow I'm going to set about crushing up this rock.
It's been a good day, and tomorrow I switch gears and start working with Jonathan.
Day 2, and Mike has finally finished his aluminium chloride production.
It's all right, it doesn't smell.
It is amazingly odour-free around here this morning.
Well, if you thought it smelled yesterday, you wait till you get my armpits on day three.
I'm waiting for that treat. I'm absolutely waiting for that treat. Were you here late last night?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, and I generated a whole lot of chlorine.
Yeah.
Gave it much. I was too tentative yesterday.
Right.
A whole lot of chlorine, heated the aluminium foil up in boiling water, and then we eventually got some reaction. Kate, look at that. Can you see that white powder?
Oh, what, on the edge here? Sorry, I should be shrieking with excitement, shouldn't I? And it just still looks like aluminium foil, but the glass has got a bit mucky.
Well, I think a chemist would be excited by that.
Mike reckons that this white powder takes him a step closer to making his antiperspirant. Inside the mill, Jonathan's working on a way of controlling the flow of water into the washing machine. He's making a valve.
This is going to be the water tank. So we're upside down at the moment. So if you imagine there was a hole here where this little ball goes, if that ball was in the hole, it will block it and stop the water from coming out. So I'm just fiddling around with designs.
But a washing machine won't do much without washing soap. And that's the next job for Ellen. She's down in the valley in search of a plant that should do the trick.
Ah, here's one of the plants I'm looking for. This is yucca, and the Native Americans use it for all sorts of things. It's great for weaving, for thread. The tip is a fabulous needle. What we're going to do with it, it's great for washing hair and washing clothes.
Back at base, Mike is on to the next stage of his antiperspirant production.
Oh, gosh, there is actually more powder than you think. And this is just regular water going in here?
This is just ordinary water. Now, stand back, be prepared for a little bit of a spectacle.
Oh, listen to that. Oh, my word.
Now, all that's happening is the aluminium chloride, that white powder, is combining with the water to form a hydrated form, and that's the antiperspirant.
So that liquid now
contains the antiperspirant in solution.
So what do you do next?
I filter off all the aluminium foil.
Yeah.
And then reduce the solution down. And then I've got to think about how I'm going to apply it to my armpits. But all that hissing and fizzing shows I've got what I want.
So you're pleased?
I am.
Good.
I'm a happy bunny.
Well, hopefully I should be pleased tomorrow morning when we do the armpit test. Well done, Mike.
All right.
Hermione's got her rock, but it seems that's only the beginning. The mineral she's collected, alunite, won't do the job as it is. It contains all the right elements, but it needs to be converted into a different form, a chemical called potassium alum. That means roasting the smashed up rock on a hot fire for a long time. Meanwhile, I'm finding out how Ellen's planning to make washing soap from a yucca plant.
All right, this is the exciting part. Okay, in the root and in the leaves are saponins. Okay?
Saponins.
Saponins. It's a really cool molecule.
Okay.
And basically, one end loves grease and oil.
Yeah.
And the other end doesn't.
Okay.
It likes water.
Okay.
Okay, so when you put it in a washing machine, and the washing machine starts to agitate, the end that likes the grease starts to dig in, grab the grease, and surround it.
Right.
And then because the other end likes water, it takes that surrounded grease and it becomes part of the water suspension.
So basically what these molecules do is they effectively sort of imprison grease, and then the watery bit of the molecule takes it away.
Yes.
Okay, so what do you need to release those saponins?
Actually, what I'm going to try to do is make a concentrated liquid.
Okay.
So I won't use this much water.
Yeah.
And I'll pound the rest of this and just basically wash it into the water.
Okay.
And we'll have a concentrated liquid.
Brilliant. Do you want hands bashing?
You know, this one's pretty easy.
I'll leave you to it then.
Good luck. Thanks.
This may look like pointless vandalism, but in fact, Jonathan is after a vital component for his washing machine.
OK, this is going to be the hot water tank for the washing machine. What I've got here is a disc of rubber inside here. And if I push that up, the water will be allowed to come through. So this is a coil of wire, goes over the magnets, and if I put a current through that coil of wire, it should attract the magnets, pulling this down. So I'm using a bulb from the car as a sort of series resistor, because if I put this straight across the car battery, it will just burn it out. So let's try it out. Whoa! It's a bit messy, but it's working. So there's actually only a very few volts on the coal, so it's completely safe to do this, even though there's water everywhere. It seems to be working quite well.
As day 2 draws to a close, the rocks have been roasted. The aluminium chloride is being filtered. The yucca juice is foaming. And the washing machine is looking less like a toilet. But will it all be ready for the challenge on day 3?
One of the astonishing things about this is that you can take such a toxic, nasty gas as chlorine and produce something as harmless as, well, something you put under your armpits.
Didn't get as far with the valves and everything that I wanted to, but I was completely obsessed trying to get this thing to work. So I don't really know what the other lot have been doing.
It's the final day, and Hermione is on to the next stage of her deodorant making process. The roasted rocks should now contain the chemical she wants. To extract it, she has to boil the rocks in water. Meanwhile, Ellen is helping Jonathan by painting the washing machine's water container black. That way, it will absorb the sun's heat and give them a hot water wash. When suddenly, the supposedly heat-resistant glass beakers have shattered, and Hermione's precious deodorant is on the floor.
Okay, let's think about the implications of this now. Don't cry. It'll be all right.
My gas burner
It was
is just a
basically
little
the
bit
liquid you wanted, wasn't it?
Yes, this stuff.
You could put that on your arm. It might work.
While Hermione desperately tries to save the all-important liquid, I have to help Mike prepare for the deodorant test.
Well, I'm evening up the odds because I'm assuming that that Hermione and Ellen don't have armpit hair.
Well, certainly not as much as you, I don't think.
Armpit hair is there to retain the pheromones that exude from my armpits.
So basically you're saying that by having hair, you're kind of naturally smellier than the girls?
Yes. Sadly.
Give yourself a wipe under there, let's have a look.
I think I'll do my bikini line when I've finished.
Oh, no, please, Mike.
The final stage for Hermione is to take the liquid she's mopped up and put it out to dry. For once, she has a bit of luck. The sun shines and in no time at all, the liquid evaporates.
Look, there's loads of crystals. It's actually better than I thought it was going to be. So, if I just scrape them up.
Hermione has her crystals. Mike has a concentrated antiperspirant solution. And Ellen is making a nifty container for her sweet-smelling infusion. It's time to apply.
Right, what I need you to do is to put your various applications on only one armpit. So one is going to act as a control, if you like, just to see how bad things can really get, and then the other one, hopefully, will be a marked improvement. So, Mike, can you just remind me what you've done?
This is aluminium chloride, antiperspirant made from aluminium foil and chlorine.
OK, so we should have one sweaty pit and one beautifully dry pit.
Yes.
OK, Ellen?
I've got a three-pronged approach, 3 different plants. One is an antiperspirant, one a deodorant, the other is a perfume. It basically masks the scent.
OK, I'm just noticing this very lovely little roll-on.
Rocky Mountain roll-on.
Very, very good. So we should hopefully have a beautifully fragrant pit from you.
And dry.
And dry. Ooh, let's see. And Hermione, how about you?
This is potassium alum. See in little white crystals there?
Oh, they are very beautiful.
That's extracted from the mineral alunite, and
Yeah.
it will be a slight antiperspirant,
Yeah.
but the main thing is it kills off bacteria, and therefore it's a deodorant.
So you will be odour-free. OK, well, guys, get applying. I'm not going to look at which pit you choose to put the stuff on, and then I want you to meet me outside. Start up, snap!
But to really put those deodorants to the test, they've got to work up a sweat. The exercise will make them perspire, which will give the niffy bacteria lots to feed on.
In there and chin up, quickly!
Jonathan's also hard at work, trying to get the washing machine finished in time for the final test.
I have for you a very special garment.
Oh, lovely.
This is a Rough Science, wait for it, T-shirt. So I think this will probably put everything to the test fairly comprehensively, don't you?
It certainly will, that's for sure.
Clothes in first.
Yep, close in.
Okay. In that revolting
Then the soap goes in.
T-shirt.
Yeah, that T-shirt's so dirty, we're going to use it all.
Now, I have to say, if you're judging just by sight, that doesn't look like the most effective thing to make anything clean. I think it's making it browner. But we'll see, we'll see. Right, Jonathan, do you want to fire her up?
Yeah, so it's a little kitchen timer. So when you
Okay.
turn it, it just clicks slowly back.
Okay.
So I put a contact on that arm that turns.
Yeah.
Which makes electrical contact to all the bits and pieces in here. So should we start?
I think we should.
So it should start off with a fill.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
wow.
Here we go.
You can tell because the light's on.
Yeah. The current's going around the coil. That's opening the valve. It's filling the washing machine. Oops.
Oh, wow.
It changes. How does it change direction?
Well, you can see there's a bit of wood here, and it flicks the switch, and that reverses the connections on the motor. And so there's another bit of wood here at the other end, which conveniently flips it back. Oops. Coming to the end of its wash now. There's a period then.
Perfect timing.
That's amazing. I'll just put my hand in. That will let the water out.
Okay.
And then we can put it on a rinse.
Right.
Basically, when that's all the dirty water's come out, there's still water up in the hot tank.
Yeah.
I'll flow in pure, clean water.
Yeah.
And we can spin it with the hole. And so basically
okay.
it's rinsing it.
We're getting to the end now. Bucket's emptying.
Put that onto there. Get some fresh water in.
Well, can I make a suggestion? I think while this is rinsing, and before the heavens thoroughly open on us and wash your armpits, we should go and do the sniff test. What do you reckon? Are we ready? Let's go. Right, now if the 3 armpits could stay there, Jonathan, I'm going to need your help. But I'm going to do this blindfold, and I can confirm that I can't see a thing. So 3 armpits. If you could come in, I don't know what order, it doesn't matter. Tell me when they're in position,
They're in
JJ.
position.
OK, arms up, everybody.
Shall I guide you in?
Yeah, could you?
OK.
OK.
So this is sniff test number 1. OK.
This is one of the silliest things I've ever done. OK, that's a slightly whiffy pit, I have to say. I would say, just on first sniff, that hasn't got anything on it. But just let me get the next one.
OK, there we go.
That doesn't smell. So I would say that one is the au naturel pit.
OK, so take you over to number 2. Test number 2.
OK.
OK.
Something slightly flowery about... OK, hold on.
Okay.
Well, I say actually both those pits are pretty clean. But I would say that one has a slight perfume to it. I'm guessing that might be the botanical pit.
Uh-huh, interesting.
OK.
Interesting.
That one is really hard to tell because actually neither of them smell that bad. So I guess that's a girl because that's a clean girl pit if ever I said. Can I take my glasses off now?
Oh, no. Let's just go through. The first one was which?
I think pits number 1 was a chemical pit, botanical pit, geological pits.
And what was the most effective, do you think?
Number 1. It's like blind date, this, isn't it? Ah! OK, well, I was right on the order. How was I on the pits? Was I right with you?
Exactly right.
Ellen?
You said they both smelled flowery, and then you went for this one.
That's the non-treated one? Well, there you are. You see, you're a botanist. You just smell of roses all the time.
And this was the treated pit.
Right.
Maybe there's just not enough bacteria.
Maybe you are just a clean girl. Well, I'm extremely, extremely impressed. But we still have the T-shirt to check. Now, it is the final big test as the storm comes in, Jonathan. What do you reckon?
Well, there's no water coming out now, so it's
Okay.
spun most of the water out.
OK.
I turn it off.
OK.
I guess.
Shall I
Let's see.
reveal
Yeah.
the T-shirt?
Oh.
That looks better to me.
Yeah, it's...
I would say,
definitely
hang on,
better.
let's have a look at the front first. What do we
Yeah.
think?
Oh, that is less
Yeah.
stable.
Do you think?
Yeah.
It wasn't set on colours anyway,
I mean,
was
it needs a better rinse.
It does need a better rinse. What about the back? It was a tough test. I can't say that you're going to beat other biological powders. But it washed. There is definite fading. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think so.
There you are. That's for you to play with.
More action or hotter water? Or...
Well, the team can forget all about cleanliness now because next time they've got to go deep underground where things could get very messy indeed. Don't miss the next Rough Science. For a free survival science pack and details of all Open University programmes, call 0870 900 9581 or go to open2.net, where you can also explore the science behind this programme.
Next tonight, giant iguanas and the world's smallest bird.